Magandang umaga po. Welcome sa isa na namang episode ng online series ni Inang Pamantasan kung saan ang pagkatuto ay walang hangganan. Ito ang PNU Talks. I am Donna Labangon and I'll be your learning from home body sa episode na ito. Ako ay nagtapos ng Bachelor of Library and Information Science, Batch 2009, at kasalukuyang isang librarian sa De La Salle University. For today, I will share about how to cite sources and not just copy content, some tips, and online tools. So in libraries, usually as part of our information literacy programs or sessions, we help students and researchers on how to search for information sources, manage and assess the information sources if it's relevant to what they want, to what they need, and if it's from a reputable source, and refer information sources correctly and treat information ethically. If you paid attention, that was really smart. SMART. So you search, you manage and assess, and refer and treat the information correctly or ethically. It's what our campaign at the DLSU libraries for our information literacy campaign. But for this morning, we'll explore more on how to refer your information sources correctly. For this session, citing is essential in doing your research. So why? It's because citing your sources correctly shows how thorough and rigorous you are in conducting your study. Imagine carefully building your study by critically selecting the important and relevant works and ideas from other authors, which you will be including in your RRLs or your review of related lists. And because of that, citing demonstrates how responsible you are as a researcher because you know how to credit other authors' ideas, their content, and you do that when you cite. Because to cite a piece of work is to provide a reference to its source. And when you cite your sources, it allows your reader to track, to check, and consult your sources, which can possibly lead your researcher to build on or probably pursue your topic further. So it leads us to further research. Now, how are you going to do it? First, find out what citation style you need to use. How we list or do our citations sometimes depend on what academic discipline we are in. Or it's always best to ask your instructor also what is the citation style that you're going to use. So citation may look different depending on what is being cited and which style was used to create them. So it's always best to choose what fits your needs and be mindful of the following elements. So as we see here, the most common elements are the author, the article title, source title, volume and issue, publication date, and the page numbers. This one. And it will look different, as you see here below, depending on the citation style that you're going to use. So as mentioned earlier, the citation style you use is largely dependent on the discipline and what your instructor assigns you. But if you have the flexibility to choose, here's a guide from the University of Washington Libraries. And here are the major types of the citation styles. This we have here MLA, Modern Language Association, which is widely used for the humanities track. And if you see down below, this type of citation is largely emphasized on the authorship. The author's name is the first piece of information in the reference list. So see here below. While on the other hand, the APA, or the American Psychological Association citation style, which is used mostly in the field of the social sciences, education, and engineering, these disciplines emphasize on the date or the creation or the publication because they need to keep track on the currency and the relevancy of the material. That is why the date is immediately listed after the author's name in the reference list. And also we have the Chicago Manual of Style, which has two formats also. They follow notes and bibliography, as you see here, and the author and date format here. The author and date format is quite similar to the APA style. It has in-text citation and the reference list. On the other hand, the notes and bibliography here uses footnotes and endnotes, since history is keen on emphasizing the source origins. So there's a number assigned to a particular part in the text, which can be traced to the corresponding footnote and endnote that is linked to the bibliography. Later we'll see some of that sample. And if you have decided, or if your instructor already told you that you need to use this particular citation style, it's time to consult a style guide and read the overview. So this is so you know what to note down when you are reading. Are page numbers required in citing? In my reference list, the chronological or alphabetical, just to give you an overview of what you're going to do with your citation. And at this point, since you can't borrow a physical copy of the style guide, you may want to check Purdue University's online writing lab. This is the site, and it has resources that can help you learn about a particular citation style and how to format them. So you can see that one on the left-hand side of your screen. And then, just a side tip also, label the sources in your notes while reading. So, as you read, you usually take down notes, right? And when you do that, just don't forget to put a label on the resources where you got the information. The author, the year, page number, and if you've quoted or paraphrased something about it. This is to help you keep track and avoid plagiarism, accidental plagiarism. You can just include enough information to help you locate that information again. Maybe just the author, the year, page number. It's sometimes enough, so you can go back to your sources. And now that you've mentioned plagiarism, a citation should be used for anything that did not originate from you. So you have to cite sources when you quote, Use the exact word, actual spoken or written words of another person. You have to cite your sources when you restate or paraphrase. You restate another person's thoughts or ideas in your own words. Paraphrasing won't relieve the responsibility to cite a source. Also, cite your sources when you summarize a work and when you use information or data. Any statistic, graphs, drawings, or other non-textual elements that you have adopted from another source. On the other hand, what you don't need to cite is what we call common knowledge. This includes information that is widely known and generally known to a reader, widely known facts, and sometimes even well-known quotations. But you may further read that one using Harvard University's The Exception to Common Rules to give you more in-depth knowledge about it. So that's their page. You can go there and just read more about that one. All those mentioned can guide you in your own citation practice. However, sometimes deciding which facts require citation from those that are common knowledge can be confusing or difficult. So, when in doubt, cite. For sure, you won't get into any trouble if you cite thoroughly, even if it turns out to be a common knowledge. And because we are that cautious and careful, citing will be your best source of defense against plagiarism. And let's be mindful of these common types of plagiarism or such acts that constitutes as an academic misconduct. This is from the University of Melbourne in their good scholarship in forms of plagiarism. So we have here copying, which has three subtypes. Direct, which is basically Control C and then Control V, meaning you copied everything without acknowledging the source. It is mosaic if you get key points from another work and then you build your own, but you failed to cite the source. And then on one side, it's recycling, it's self-plagiarism, multiple submission, submitting the same work to another course. So you may wonder, well, it's my own work, why it's still plagiarism or why it's not a good practice. So even if it is your own work and given you're not plagiarizing someone else's work, you are doing a disservice to the audience of your paper who expects new and original work. But this can be okay if you're honest and open about it and you ask your instructor, your professor, if that would be okay and they approve. That's fine. Now, for paraphrasing, it's inadequate. When you try to explain the author's idea, you restate it, but the sentence structure is still quite similar, too close to the original text. So it's inadequate. And then uncited, yes, you paraphrased everything, but you failed to cite the source. And the last one, we have misrepresenting or misquoting. This happens even when you cite them correctly, but the idea of the author was misrepresented when you paraphrase the idea. So it's not the same as what the author is trying to say. That's misrepresenting and misquoting. So if you want to also have further readings to better understand and avoid plagiarism, please also check the site of the University of Melbourne Good Scholarship and Forms of Plagiarism. And also, this one from Yale Purview Center for Teaching and Learning, just to give you more explanation and further reading about understanding and avoiding plagiarism. So that's Yale Purview. And now that you have, well, we've covered some of the basic principles in citing the sources, it's time to decide now how you're going to manage your references. And there are several options to do that. Do you want it add and format yourself? And it's by using citation and style manual. So when we say add and format yourself, meaning you will manually record the information about the sources you use and consult the following style guide. If you're using MLA, APA, or Chicago Manual of Style. But since we don't have access to the physical copies of these guides, you may visit their site, or again, through the Purdue Online Writing Lab, and another site from the University of Melbourne. They have this Recite, which helps you manage your citations and references. As a sample, here's the interface. So if you want to choose the citation style and you've decided what you're going to use, just click on that, and then it will be followed by an interface that will help you select the type of material you are citing. And once you click on the type of material that you will be citing, it will eventually lead you to the guide on how to cite for that specific material, which you can already use as a pattern. So again, this is from the University of Melbourne, Recite. So you can visit the website here. But of course, perhaps you don't want to do it manually and just write here. Although it's still better to consult the site, another option would be quick and online, meaning you're going to use citation generator. And this is applicable if you're writing short papers and won't need a full reference management software. So these are the samples of citation generators. What are the types that you can use? We have database generators. These database generators are applicable if, for example, your libraries are subscribing to certain electronic databases, which mostly have that feature wherein you can already generate the citation from the database itself. For example, I'm using here our database at the DLSU library. This is a sample of a search list. So if I want to cite this particular material, when I click on the title, it will lead me to another page, and there is this button on this side, right-hand side, like paper, document. When you click on that, it will generate citation format, and you'll have to choose which one you're going to use. And just copy it and use the citation format. So if you have more questions about this one, or if you want to check if your library has one, please don't hesitate to contact your librarian. The question would be, what if we don't have one? Don't worry because we still have online citation makers which you can freely access online. These are citation generating websites. So we have this Bibme, Citation Machine, Bib. So this is free, you can access them online. And how does citation generators work? So citation generators work by letting you provide all the entries needed in your citation. Then it will ask you to select your citation style. And then after you've submitted all the information, you selected the citation style, it will generate the citation output. So if it's MLA, APA, or Chicago Manual of Style, it will generate the citation for you. However, a word of caution, since this heavily rely on the user's input, meaning whatever you put in the field, it will generate. So make sure that all the information you enter are correct and is on the right field. You have selected the correct material type. If you are citing a book, you are citing a journal article, a thesis, or a report, make sure you selected the correct material type. So it will generate the correct citation for you. For example, this is Bibme. And for this one, I'll choose APA. And then the next interface, you have to select what type of material are you citing. So it's from a journal. And then after, it will direct you to a page where you need to fill out all the important information about the material you are citing. So just fill it out. Again, this is from Bibme. And then after you do that, you can already generate the citation. So this one is APA. And this is how it would look like from the database generator that I got. This is the citation, and from the citation maker generating website, which is from Bibme, this is the citation that I've generated. So there. For another, we have here the Google Scholar. They also generate citations. For example, if you find this material, you're going to cite it, you'll be using it, just click on this one, this link. It's a quotation mark, and then it will lead you to citation formats, these styles, which you can just select whichever you need to use. There. So those are online citation generators, which you can also explore and use. So for some quick links, you can also visit the LSU Libraries page for this, for the citation makers that you can find free online. Okay. Now, lastly, if you are working on a long project or a thesis, perhaps for a journal publication, you might want to explore using reference management software. So these are Mendeley, we have Zotero, we have RefWorks, we have EndNote. Some are free up to a certain storage limit, and some you have to pay. But what's in it for you? So what they can do for you? First, these reference management softwares can store and access your documents in a searchable database. Imagine you can just add and import all the documents, PDF copies into your reference management software by just installing a web importer, or you can just drag and drop the file from your desktop. So you have all your sources of information, your PDF copy in one place. And because of that, you can already create your own library of your references. Later, I'll show you how it's done, just a quick demo. And then you can already do CWYW, it's cite while you write. So you can easily insert citations into your document while you are writing the citation style you selected. You can generate the citations and bibliographies with just one click. You can share collections of reference with others, and you can read your references across multiple devices. So some of them have that. So just to give you a quick demo on how it's done, let me share another screen with you. This one, I'll be using Mendeley personally and using that one. On some of my research works, I use Zotero because my colleagues, most of them are using that, so I use that also. But for this one, I'll be doing Mendeley and sharing with you that. Okay. So for example, if you already have Mendeley installed on your desktop, it would look like this here. So the desktop interface would look like this. So as you can see here, here are the materials that I used for a specific type of research that I'm doing. And because I can already have all my resources, information, PDF copies in one place, I can already create more folders here just to sort out which are the materials for each specific subject. If I'm doing my project management, here are my lists, my references. If I'm doing my digital humanities, here are my lists. So you can already create that one. And if you click on a particular material, here is the PDF copy, and then you'll see here the citation or the details, information details of each material. This is how it looks like again if you're using the interface desktop. Now, if you want to add to your library here, all you have to do is to, say for example, I wanted to add something in my library and I found it on the internet. Say for example, this one. So I wanted to add this in my library. What I'm going to do is to just click on this one. This you also have to install. It's the Mendeley web importer. Other reference management software have that one also. So if you're using Mendeley, you'll just have to click on this one. And when you click on that, you'll see the details about this material, and you can add it to the folder wherein you want that material to go to. So for this one, I have it in my demo folder, and then just click on add. So once it's done, this material and these details will also go into your reference management software. Now I'm going to check that one out in my interface. So let's see in my demo there. So it's already on my Mendeley there. Now another cool thing is I mentioned earlier that you can already cite while you write. For example, I wanted to use now my Mendeley and really put in Intext Citations while I'm writing. So say for example, you are writing here, there, you wanted to add a quick citation on that one. All you have to do is go to references and you'll see here the citation plugin from Mendeley, which you have to also install. Just click on Insert Citation, and then you can type the author, the title, or the year, and it will automatically search in your Mendeley within your library, and then when you click on that, it will format the citation. Another one, again, just insert citation, and then click on that particular material, and then click on OK. You are citing while you are writing. And it's very easy once you've already completed that one out and you want to insert the bibliography, your reference list. Just click on this one again at the top part of this screen. We have here insert bibliography, and then it will automatically generate your reference list. With that one, so you can see here, this is the style of APA. You can automatically choose Chicago or MLA, and then it will automatically switch to that citation style. So that's how it works when you use your reference management softwares. It's easy, and this could probably, if you haven't used this one, it's probably the time for you to explore on them and use them while you do your research, your public short papers, and things like that. So for Mendeley, it's free up to 2 gigabyte online storage. And note, it has a fee. Zotero is also free up to 300 MB storage limit, but there are pricing options if you want to add storage. Downloading these reference management software will ask you to install the web importers, so you can easily import files from the web, and a desktop interface, and a plugin also for MS Word. So that's it for the reference management software. And after, if you want to know more about it, there are YouTube videos for Mendeley, for EndNote also, if you want to learn about that one, and as well as for Zotero. Now, after you've finished writing, just a reminder to go over your work and proofread everything. Make sure that your in-text citation can be also found on your reference list. So this is a sample of APA. And also that all your footnotes have a corresponding entry in the bibliography, in your bibliography. So that's it. Your paper is ready. And to end this session, I'll leave this to you as a final reminder. Always remember that referencing isn't just something you do when you have finished writing. So thank you so much for listening. Again, this is Donna Labangon, and this is PNU Talk. Thank you so much.
Here are the sites consulted and used for this presentation.